Let's talk about anger. Okay, anger is not a bad emotion. It is an emotion, and it's very useful emotion. Many of us have either been told that you're an angry person, you need to go work on your anger, or you need to access your anger because you need to stand up for yourself and advocate for yourself. So you may have fallen into one of those categories in your life, or maybe you're in one of those categories at the moment around anger and accessing anger. So when anger is not processed and grounded, what you'll find is it will either be projected out or we will project it towards ourselves. We'll direct the anger towards ourselves. So these two areas tend to happen because we have grown up with negative association around anger. This means that maybe a caregiver, a parent, was angry, and that's how they controlled us as children. That's how they punished us. That's how they maybe treated us. And so we've got a negative association with anger. And also we've got a negative way of being taught how to work with our anger, how to express it. So we often internalize what our parents are doing. So if our parents are yelling, then we'll find ourselves doing the same thing without even meaning to. If our parents just kept the peace, one of our parents was just like, we're just keeping the peace, just do the right thing for the person to not get angry, then we'll find ourselves doing that as well growing up, until we start to access and sit with the anger to understand it fully. I'll come to that in a moment. So when we project anger out, we get very angry with other people. We can have rage and violence and we can also be controlling. We can use that fight response to control others, to manipulate others, so we can get our own way. And this tends to be also your road rage, your controlling partner or person at work. It can tend to be quite an aggressive energy and a scary energy for people on the other side. Then we've got the other default that we can fall into, and that can be repressing the anger. So you could say something like, I don't have an angry bone in my body. And that means that you have repressed your anger, because every single one of us can access anger. And for us it's a super important emotion to access. So what it tells me is that you were taught to keep the peace by not expressing your anger. And when we do this, what tends to happen is we tend to get severe health problems, autoimmune disease, and other health problems because we are not accessing or expressing our anger. We tend to be people who take care of everyone else and don't take care of ourselves. Also, to the extreme end, when we direct anger internally and towards ourselves, there's self-hate, there's self-harm, there's addiction. So we may use these things to get relief because we feel powerless to express our anger. We haven't been taught to, and we've probably repressed it. So we don't even know it's there sometimes. On the other end, if you fall towards the directing that anger out, you may find that your relationships really break down because no one wants to be around someone that they fear. And if you do have people around you that fear you, then they're not being their authentic self. They're doing things to just please you, and it's quite an empty and shallow relationship too, and unhealthy and abusive at the same time. So what's the point of anger? Now, anger is a super important emotion to help us know what our boundaries are, what our needs are, what our pain is, what our sadness is. When we feel shame, anger helps us understand that this is a signal that there's something else happening underneath. Often when we project the anger out, we find it difficult to access our vulnerability, our hurt, our pain. So we cycle in the fight. We keep fighting because we can't go, oh, what's happening inside? Like, why am I hurting? What's hurt me? What's made me feel this way? And so we can get stuck in the fight response. When we tend to do this, we will also find ourselves in using probably addictions as well to relieve that anger too. You can also fall into both these categories as well. You can find yourself being angry outwards and also the self-harm and self-hate towards self as well. We don't consciously know that we're doing this. So in order to know whether you are suppressing or repressing your anger, whether you're bypassing your hurt and pain, you've got to be able to slow down and to have someone sort of mirror back to you in therapy, or maybe even if you learn something from this video around, why do I get angry? Am I someone that falls into, I've been told I'm an angry person? Or am I someone that falls into, I find myself needing to access my anger to stand up for myself? Either way, anger is a very important emotion, and if you have found yourself being told that you need to access your anger and process your anger, there's no one way to do this, in the sense of there's no one retreat or somatic process that's going to help you process anger, in the sense of you may be able to access anger with a somatic process or at a retreat, but in terms of relationally, we will feel anger in any situation that requires us to set a boundary, maybe feel when we're being offended or upset by something, when we have been hurt, when we feel out of control, when we feel the fear response. So this will happen in our everyday life, from when we're driving in our car to when we're talking to colleagues at work or clients if you have a business. So we will always feel this emotion because it's a part of all our emotions, like sadness and joy and happiness. And this is part of feeling on a daily basis. So a somatic process or retreat will help you access the anger and to express it maybe in a way that's less relational, so you're not directing it towards anyone. But therapy can help you access the activation and the wisdom behind why it's there, what hurt or pain needs to be seen and processed, what your boundaries are, what your needs are. So then you can communicate these when you feel that anger coming up. If you fall more into the category, I don't have a angry bone in my body, then the first step is to access the anger, to start to feel into when you feel anger and to sit with it and allow it to come up. And you can also see a therapist to help you with that. This is the sort of work that I do, and I would love to help you with it, to access and to also understand how you can process your anger so you don't project it out and hurt other people, and you don't project it in and hurt yourself. So either way, we're hurting each other or ourselves, and I would love to be part of the solution of helping you understand the wisdom of anger and how to express it in a grounded, healthy way.